Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody feeling this morning? I'm especially excited about this morning because, as you guys all know by now, the Startup Pitch Contest is scheduled for Tuesday, November 28th. I hope you all have it on your calendar. It's going to be held at 240 Glen Street, which is walking distance from here. We had another committee meeting yesterday, and everything is just shaping up so nicely. It's getting really exciting as we're approaching that date. And in preparation for that event, we decided that we would invite our contestants to come and present on the 1 Million Cup stage, giving them another chance to practice their public speaking and also to put their presentation together and get more comfortable in sharing that. So I'm really excited this morning to welcome not one, but two presenters to the stage. Both of them will be contestants in the pitch contest. And the pitch contest rules are slightly different than 1 Million Cups rules. And as you guys know, here at 1 Million Cups, we usually only have one presenter per week. So the rules tend to get thrown out the window. I'll remind you, 1 Million Cups is an organization that was started by the Kauffman Foundation, and their rules are that each presenter gets 6 minutes to present, followed by 20 minutes of Q&A, and then you rinse and repeat and do it a second time. And apparently all 120 chapters across the country do it that way. But we on the south side of Atlanta have so much trouble finding presenters, and our community is so committed to giving feedback that we fill the full hour with just one presenter. With that being said, we are already 7 minutes past 9 o'clock, and I want to get started right away. The pitch contest rules only give the presenters 5 minutes to pitch. I am not going to pull you off the stage at 5 minutes, but I am going to give you a warning that 5 minutes is approaching. You have another minute, as far as I'm concerned, to use your time on stage. But for next week or 3 weeks from now, there will be a hook, proverbial hook. Not really. We're not pulling you off the stage, but we will warn you that time will stop. So, Shanara, can't do it right. I'm sorry. Shanara is going to be first up this morning. If you are ready, I will just get your presentation on the screen, and then you can just tell me when it's time.
Short cheaper. I got a big mouth anyway. I don't need a mic. I'm a performer, so I have a theater voice. Amen. Oh, they got the picture up there. Yes. Okay, let me know when y'all ready with the timer because I'm already over 5 minutes for my presentation. So good morning, everyone. I'm here to present to you my business idea called Round the Way Vegan, which is inspired by an old school hip hop song by LL Cool J, I Need a Round the Way Girl. This is my 100% plant-based restaurant that I would like to see happen in Fayette County. Yes. What you're looking at on another page right there, in case y'all curious, like, what the heck is this? This is one of my favorite dishes to make is vegan oxtails. So if you guys like Jamaican cuisine, oxtails and butter beans and stuff, this is the vegan way. I have another Instagram account where you can see that. You know, to the next slide, because otherwise I'll go. And just a tad bit about me. By trade, I am a creative artist under the Mouthpiece Entertainment LLC brand, which is with the Chamber. I do a lot of voiceovers. I have an extensive theater background, and I have a successful one-woman show that's won some awards. But I also have another business called Mama D's Five Popcorn, which a lot of the Fayettevilleans and people that come to Fayetteville events have seen me do. That business is popcorn, but what most people probably don't know and probably don't care because it's popcorn, that it's plant-based. I don't make food that I can't eat. So the flavors are yummy, even though there is no dairy in none of the products, which was a hard feat for me to replicate, but I did. And so I have been plant-based 100% for 9 years, and that has lent itself to an interesting opportunity over the panorama. That's what I call the pandemic. Over the panorama, somebody hit me in my DM on Instagram, and I thought they were playing around, but I eventually ended up doing a cooking segment with Tabitha Brown and Steve Harvey. Anybody know about Tabitha Brown? She is a celebrity in her own right. 2 years back, she blew up making vegan lifestyle very popular, and her stardom has just taken off. So it was quite the pleasure to have that opportunity as someone who's I would just call myself a plant-based civilian of sorts. I just do it at home. That's why. All right. So I want to paint a picture. I'm originally born and raised in Chicago, home of big, thick Italian beef, dipped, hot giardiniera, cheese oozing on the side. We like our gyros. We like our Harold's chicken, mild sauce. Love it. That's what I used to eat my whole entire life. I became plant-based in Chicago, of all places. I always tell people, if you don't think you go plant-based, trust me, I did it out of Chicago, right? So that's where I'm from. And when I got sick one time, a little over 10 years ago, I just wanted a nice cup of lentil soup. I'm from the South Side of Chicago. And I called my favorite place in Hyde Park, and they told me that they wouldn't deliver to my location. I was out of their district. And all I had within walking distance, if you will, was White Castle, Little Caesars, McDonald's, and that it. I had no desire for that. I'm sick. I don't want any junk food. I want something healing. So I would have to make something for myself. I did not have that convenience. In many instances, people will call that a food desert. If you guys are familiar with the term food desert, it's typically associated with urban environments, the inner city, because access to fresh fruits and vegetables are not really accessible to those people in those communities. So they tend to have a disproportionate amount of health problems as a result. Well, here I am in beautiful Fayetteville for the last 2.5 years. And as a vegan, I live in a food desert. If you're a vegan, you probably already understand what I'm talking about. You go out here to Glen, what do we have? Dunkin' Donuts, this is it, Arby's, continue. McDonald's, the whole stretch, not one 100% vegan restaurant within our purview. When we go to any establishments here, typically they may throw a little something on the menu for the vegan people. It's typically not appealing. It's typically overpriced for the little concession that they make. If you ask questions about how it's prepared, it's typically made to feel like it's an issue, it's a bother, and that's because the staff doesn't have a sensitivity to that type of eating lifestyle. It's uncomfortable. So the problem is that I'm limited to going to other cities. The closest spot I typically can roll to is Slutty Vegan. I'm all Slutty Vegan now. It's in Jonesboro. Or going to Atlanta, and there's a more concentrated center of restaurants like that. I love it, but I don't want to have to go 25, 30 miles out one way to get something that I desire. Right? So, again, as I mentioned, it also affects how things are cooked in these restaurants. Sometimes people have allergens and stuff that they can get sick if stuff is commingled and contaminated, the utensils on how stuff is prepared. And so we want our own thing. The ripple effect, it always gets to the money. It's going to drive revenue to these other locations, okay? It also affects having health options. It's already 5 minutes. See, I'm going to stop. You can, okay. Yeah. Thank you. Ripple effect. There may be people here who actually are curious, who want to try stuff, but it's not convenient. And because we're creatures of habit, and we tired, and we got jobs, ain't nobody driving to Jonesboro. Ain't nobody driving to Atlanta to get this stuff. So they gonna do what they gonna do when they get off work. Hence, we got the problem. So it's gonna drive money out of the Fayetteville to these other locals. And it also continues to perpetuate this narrative that the South is basically behind. It's still closed-minded in a lot of ways, particularly with this food situation. This is a picture. The reason why I got that picture up, not because I think I look fine, that was me on my birthday. I drove all the way one way to this really nice restaurant called Clancy. They got one in Marina Del Rey in LA. I had to go all the way there for a nice sit-down vegan restaurant. It's beautiful, but I had to go 30 miles one way to get there. Had a beautiful town. So I'll stop there. That's my extra minute. Thank you. Thank you.
So with that, as somebody after, I guess to ask you what is it? Question, but yes. Please tell us.
Actually, if you scoot to the second to last slide, because what's her name? Casey. I know she said she's gonna be chiming in virtually.
The first one. Okay.
Yeah, forward.
So I have a question. Are you looking for a kitchen to do meal prep, or you want to open a restaurant, like a more high-end restaurant? What is really what you're looking to do at this point?
I want to open up 2 versions of this restaurant. I mean, we need a physical location. When I first moved here, I saw a lot of people on Instagram. I saw some sisters who were making plates at their house. They were hopping on the vegan, and that's cool and stuff. But we need an actual. See how beautiful the bus barn look. We haven't got this huge yet, but we need a physical location. Most people, when they want like their full cooked meals, they will most likely prefer it to be coming from an establishment. And it would also be nice to have somewhere for people to go. So that's the first option.
Would it be an option to share a kitchen at this point?
Yes, I would.
I have someone that I know that's doing
Well,
that.
yes, that's connect.
Yeah. It's
That's
where
fine.
the Kale to the Chef used to be. Do you know Lisa Hand?
No,
I'll give you her name because she had a cafe there and then she closed that. She's just doing meal preps right now from that kitchen. And it is it was already healthy eating. So established is already there.
Please, yes, thank you. Yes. The mic goes around. That's the picture right there. I went up into these cabins in the North Dakota Mountains, getaway cabin. I had to make my own food out there. That sourdough bread, heirloom tomatoes, good red lettuce, and vegan chicken by yours truly. I make the best vegan chicken sandwiches you ever see.
So you made that?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. That's really good. So I'm not sure what Slutty Vegan, if it's a franchise. Oh, I'm not sure if Slutty Vegan is a franchise or not. Would you consider opening just another franchise like Slutty Vegan, or would you prefer to make your own stuff like that? I guess.
Before. I'm so surprised unless she just hasn't thought about it. I'm so surprised because she's taken over. Like,
oh, I know.
It's huge, and she's maybe her because she's going to different major cities across the country, so she's thinking way bigger. Atlanta know her. Georgia know her. She got a couple. I think she got one in Macon, Augusta as well. So she's done Georgia, so to speak, or whatever. But I was so surprised that she didn't just come out here to the South Side because this is right.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so personally, I see the demand. Like, the conversations with couples, it's like an hour before you can agree on somewhere to go to dinner. So we threw my mom into the mix last night. I'm just want to go somewhere with like a light, fresh, not heavy meal. So that's like, I've been like vegan curious. I've gone to vegan restaurants when I can. You can find great recipes, but how do you, I don't mean to say this like a data nerd, but how do you like aggregate data or find out what the drive and the demand is locally? Do you have a resource to get statistics or like say take like a popular vegans, meta data, not like metadata, but like from meta business. And any way like that you have to measure, like if you were pitching this, showing the demand for your product.
You mean specifically for Fayette County?
Correct. Yes. Locally, because
know where to begin with that. Yeah. Unless I do, but I didn't get to the slide what I was talking about, how I plan to prepare our county for this.
Yeah.
I think typically there is lack of knowledge, and there aren't people that are vocal enough or knowledgeable enough, or maybe just don't want to take on the burden of educating. And so part of doing this would be the engagement. Again, Slutty Vegan is like a masterclass in this. They are super engaged with their consumers. Half of the people where their revenue comes from, they're not even vegan, yet they stand in these crazy lines typically just to try the products, and they're paying out the wazoo for a burger I know how to make on my own. Yeah. And so I think just watching that, I don't have to like recreate the model necessarily, but I know if I start the engagement process, so some of what I plan to do is, this is a part of what can the community do for me. So I would like to do one-on-one workshops. Vegan Curious. I have unsuccessfully tried to get these workshops in the Fayette County Public Schools. I've unsuccessfully tried to get it over here at the library, which they don't even pay you to do. And it's like sitting at a standstill. I'm knowledgeable, I'm passionate, but I just want to educate my community at large. And then also getting the teens involved. I think the teens see things differently. They might be interested in getting involved with it. And I think when children get into it, sometimes it kind of influences the adults as well. So I think starting that kind of groundswell with workshops also, here's another thing I'm offering as well, again, as far as the knowledge is concerned. Sometimes people don't even know how to shop for this stuff. We don't even have a Whole Foods or a Trader Joe's in our entire county, even though the income is here. I don't understand it, but we got one Sprout. So most people are going to Kroger, right? How do I shop for this? I'm trying to set up and just offer myself to anybody who like, yeah, come grocery shop. Like I am that kind of person just to see if I can get the interest and to educate about this kind of thing. And see if it's there and do that like for a majority of times. I don't know if that answers the question, but just try to
Yeah.
engage and fill out.
No, actually, that gave me two more pieces of feedback for you. One is kind of like hard pushback. The other one, though, that you said was really resonated with me was just like, I used to love living in Atlanta and hanging in Atlanta when I was young and going to school. And I also love not having to drive there. So that resonated a lot. I love nice restaurants. So if there was just a nice restaurant that was local, that would be awesome. And that kind of dovetails into the other thing. You might, because I think you had it in your slides, like vegans can be like overly evangelical and create bad press for themselves. And if you just had a restaurant that was like good food, and then I were to go to this restaurant, order something, and be like, oh, this is vegan, this is awesome, this is delicious. Because I'll try to order vegan items, like you said, in some local places, and they're not that great. So it might be like if you take it off your task list to bring the whole gospel and lifestyle of veganism and just like focus on having like an amazing restaurant with amazing food, that might be a lot easier, short term, more accomplishable in a SWOT analysis. Food for thought. So.
I'll keep it there. That's part of the reason. That's actually part of the reason why I kind of want to do workshops or whatever, because there's a myth, I believe, because I'm part of that community, where people think that we evangelize and we try to push it. And I'm telling you, even with my family, I've been doing like years. I order what I order. Do what I do. And I kid you not, I am the one that's always out. Someone is making a beeline what's on my all the time, and it's uncomfortable. It happened a couple of times recently at some events, and I don't do it. I don't. Here's one of something that's interesting. If I smell real fried chicken, I'm not. Those smells are still comforting and nostalgic to me. It smells good. It really does. So I'm never a food shamer. So I think sometimes there has to be some kind of space for us to get in the same room and recline. She just like you like I do.
Yeah. I'm just going to remind you that the microphone is not just to amplify your voice. It's also sending your voice to online so that it can be transcribed, which is why I'm always trying to remind you to.
Y'all gotta let me know. I'm trying to be dead center to the people.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
So I have a health and wellness business, and I deal with a lot of women's health, and they're always looking for nutrition tips and all of that. So this would be amazing to collaborate with you. I'm just curious on your philosophy. Do you pose that everybody's health should be set up to incorporate veganism, or are you open personally to other forms of diets and ways and lifestyles of living, or are you like hardcore dead set on everyone should be eating this way?
No, we are not all the same body types. Your body's going to change over the years too. I'm not a certified nutritionist or a doctor, right? But I think in generally the American diet in general can stand to incorporate more valuable plants and foods in their diets. And if we peel back all the way, from my context as a Black American woman, the foods that are soul food to us kills my people. My mother passed almost 5 years ago. She was in her 50s. She was in her 50s. A heart attack.
Yeah.
My dad has had kidney failure. He's about to be 60 in a couple months. And a lot of times these kinds of things are prevalent from my community, and this stuff is preventable, right? And that's because I think the foods that we love so much and that we grew up on, there are better ways to prepare them, maybe not eat them as often. And don't nobody want to give up what they want to, but if they're just curious, I'm just trying to see, well, maybe let's see if we can veganize it, and you do what you want to. But yeah, girl, I would love to come and chit chat.
Yes, and I think also, especially prevalent in the Black community, switching over just the oils that are used to fry things in has been one of the most monumental changes someone can make. If you have to fry anything, if it's chicken, if it's vegan chicken, whatever you want to do, avocado oil, like across the board, not coconut oil. Like there's like a lot of different misconceptions, but why women, especially in the Black community, deal with heart disease is the mix of the omega-3 and omega-6s. So that's a change. Like if they could just change the oil that things are fried in, like,
and that's different. We're
huge.
taking a whole like,
I'm
and
just like,
no problem. I am actually, if you there, one of my Instagram channels, I do delve off into those kinds of things, health wise, fasting for 21 days with water only. Like those are things that I do. But sometimes I'm just trying to take the Trojan horse in food, right? And sometimes when we start with maybe something like food, it opens up to, well, maybe I'm gonna go out here this morning and walk 30 minutes at the city park. Maybe I literally, and my biggest thing is that with my family, my sister literally just texted me and they eat everything. And she's like, you gonna make your vegan lasagna and your red beans and rice. They want me to make the vegan creamy red beans and rice. These people who gonna have a whole ham on the table. So the fact, like, that's a step. That's a step in the right direction. That's all. I just want people to try. Yeah, I'm not going hardcore. Listen, God be praised. I just turned 45 a couple of weeks ago, but I ain't been vegan my whole life. So I know.
I had a quick question for you. So this is kind of shifting gears because mine's more like restaurant based and
Yes.
like local. So I too would love to have better like quality food locally. But the number one problem with this area, particularly right now, is real estate. Like it's very expensive to do anything in Fayette County right now. With very proud of the real estate here, but because of the panorama, you do have like a new opportunity of like not even needing to necessarily have a storefront, like in order to service the community because of everybody's on the apps, DoorDash, Uber Eats, all that kind of stuff. I know there are a lot of restaurants, specifically in Atlanta, that don't even have, that's just ghost kitchens. They do shared kitchens, that sort of thing. But in order to get people to enjoy the food, they would finance the location if they already knew the name, the brand, and that the food was good. So like getting like in the serviceable area of, if I got on DoorDash and saw you and something local that wasn't, all of the ones you mentioned, I would definitely give it a try. And also just like the local outreach of doing pop-ups. One of my best friends does a fully vegan pop-up. She goes all over the place to events. And I mean, she goes into like the music community, but doesn't even really necessarily say it's vegan. Like, not that it's just, it is all vegan, but she was like, hey, I've got, tacos, this and that, and everybody will come and grab them. And they're like, man, this is so good. And then they find out it's vegan. And oh man, I'm so glad that I enjoyed this because I wouldn't have tried it otherwise. But the issue of being here is just that the reason those companies are here is because they can afford to be here. Like they can afford to go in any area because they're corporations that are backed by millions, if not billions of dollars. So they're going to strong arm everybody, and there's going to be a McDonald's on every block. But that makes it more difficult for you. However, I know that there is a desire from everyone to have good quality food, whether it be vegan or not vegan. But so that would be, I guess, my thought would just to outreach to the community, because once your brand is recognized, especially knowing that you're local, that will drive so many people to you and your brand, and then you'll have the backup to do anything you want. You want a storefront, people are going to show up in a line out the door because they already know they like your food. Trying something new, I mean, there's like a fourth new restaurant behind that Arby's, like the Frozen Rooster or something weird. There's been a million restaurants tried to open there because it's a beautiful location, but nobody can see it and nobody knows that name ahead of time. So like they'll probably be closed in 6 months. Like I'd be very surprised if they're not, because everyone has been. I grew up here. I've been here for 36 years. So, but yeah, that's my feedback there.
Thank you for that. That's real talk.
I have a I'm trying to get to the full text message here. I want to share my dad's success story. He's lost 80 pounds since switching to veganism.
Come on, Dave.
My timer just went off. I want to switch, but I'll just share this. My mom said the first 30 pounds he was still eating fish. It's been 2 years since he stopped fish, and the rest has gone off in those 2 years. Also important is that he reversed his cardiac condition, reversed diabetes, where he was just about a candidate for insulin, got rid of a lot of aches and pains, particularly knee pain, by losing weight. And the doctor, he just went, I lost the whole message, but some kind of special doctor. They live in New Jersey, so to get into New York is not a big deal. But they just went into New York and met with some kind of vegan doctor, and he still wants him to lose another 10 pounds. But I'm telling you, my dad is not even recognizable. He looks better than he looked when he married my mom when I was 4 years old. It's incredible. That is to say, we heard her say that she's not a food shamer, but at the same time, there's incredible benefits. My dad's story is not the only one out there. I've lost 30 pounds since I switched and cut out a lot of foods. I'm not vegan. And I do love my red meat, but like once a week, I've cut it back so much, and I've lost a lot of weight myself. So I think there's incredible health benefits. The two other things I want to say. One, Kale to the Chef, great location, great woman who owns it, and definitely the kind of space that you could use to build yourself a brand. Mommy's Empanadas is also a friend of mine, Karina, she gave notice. She's going to continue using the kitchen, but she doesn't want to have the restaurant in the front. I don't know what would be involved in sharing the kitchen or like bringing the grease trap to the front so you could have your own. I'm not exactly sure, but she's another contact that I would highly recommend you talk to. I don't love the location where her restaurant was. It's in Peachtree City on not Huddleston. What's the other main road with all the like Dividend? It's on Dividend Drive. It's not, I mean, it's a highly trafficked from people who work there. It's not Peachtree City people passing by on golf carts. Anyway, that's another opportunity. And the last thing that came to mind for me, and I can't remember her name, she has a food truck. She comes, I've invited her to my neighborhood a couple times. We had her at night market a couple times, but she has built herself a brand out of a food truck, a mobile food truck, where she has now proven what areas, what pockets around the city have the largest community of vegan people who want her food. And she doesn't advertise herself as being a vegan food truck. It's just phenomenal food, tacos included, and people have really grown to love the food and the truck and the brand and everything. And I think Slutty Vegan kind of started out very similar.
Oh yeah.
So
yep, she was in the truck. She's doing ghost kitchens as well. I'm hearing a common theme. I'm picking up what you're throwing down.
Oh,
Don't
yeah?
believe that. I stopped doing that with the popcorn for sure. I did.
There you go. Yeah. Well, my timer went off. We're 3 minutes past the halfway mark, so I'm gonna ask for everyone to give her a round of applause.
Thank you.
Just again, wish her luck and be there to support her on November 24th, 5 o'clock. And we have the Mad Greek coming. He's not 28th. Sorry, 28th, November 28th. What's the 24th? Is that Thanksgiving? 23rd. All right. I got all kinds of dates in my head right now. Yeah. 28th. It's a Tuesday. Be there. All right. Anyway, let me bring the mic back up to the stage. I'm gonna squeeze by you again here. And Becca Bees. That was really fun for me to say on the video yesterday, by the way. Becca Bees. Just please remember that the microphone is feeding your voice to Facebook as well for transcription, so just try to stay up there.
Are you looking or do
I will. I'm going to switch it.
Oh.
You just tell me when you want me to.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Thanks. I wasn't even gonna try to fix it. It looks very elaborate.
What I do.
Oh, perfect. All right. Awesome. Good morning, everybody. My name is Rebecca Bird Smith, and I am the owner of Becca Bees Bees. So everyone always is like, oh, so like you're a beekeeper? Yes, I'm a beekeeper. I love people, so I educate people about bees. I do a lot with bees. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about how I got started, what problems bees can solve, my current offerings, and future planning for my business, as well as how we can stay connected.
Oh, that's me. Perfect. So how I got started, I have been an avid gardener. I was the president of the gardening club at UNC Charlotte, go 49ers. And so I always was fascinated with bees, and I never had an experience with bees outside of looking at the flowers and seeing them go from flower to flower. But I was like, well, this might be nice. So of course, the pandemic changed everything. And in 2022, I said, you know what? I think I'm going to finally go to beekeeping school. So I looked online, looked for my nearest Beekeepers Association, which was Cabarrus County, which is, I would say, like 5 miles outside of Charlotte. And I found myself sitting in this class being the only African American there. And then later finding out that I was the first person to diversify the club. So I was like, wow, even in 2022, I'm the first of something. So I took this several months of courses. They met Tuesday nights from 7 to 9, and they prepared you to take your state certification exam, which just shows that you know a lot about bees. So I was doing all this work, but still did not have any physical experience working with bees until after I took the examination and passed. So I was like, okay, I think I can do this. I learned a lot. So then I found a mentor who was an older gentleman in his 70s, and he said, oh, like, do you want to sell honey? And I was like, I mean, like, I can, I don't have any real retail experience outside of working at Gymboree part-time in high school. So I was like, oh, I'll do this. So he gave me a 5-gallon bucket of honey, and I made several $1,000s off of it. So I was like, maybe there's something to this. So I decided to play around with different flavors, infusions, different products. So I was like, okay, maybe this is, time for me to start a real business. So I filed my LLC and did the right business things. What problems can be solved? Well, I found that they can solve a lot of problems. And thinking about it in retrospect, we kind of are the problem. We want to build up every piece of land we have, including the Cop City out north of Atlanta, and beautiful trees, lots of flora, but what are the bees gonna do? Nothing. So they they are trying to fix our problems with pollination. If you have any arthritic pain in your knees, I've been stung many times in my kneecaps, but I'm here to say I don't have any more arthritis in my knees. I'm very young, by the way, so this is not discriminatory for older folks. But they can solve a lot of problems. Honey is good for upper respiratory issues. If you have any skin issues, it's a good moisturizer. There's a lot of wonders to what bees offer, even outside of the honey, the beeswax. Just being around them releases a lot of endorphins. It's just a great time, and you don't have to be scared of them. They have 5 eyes and feelings, and they just want to land on you, check you out, see what you're wearing, and they like that. So, my current offerings include honey, a intro to beekeeping ebook that I authored because I went to beekeeping school so that you don't have to. I got a lot of information in there that I felt was not important to the newbie. You see what I did there? The newbie. So there's honey, there's ebooks, there's one-on-one mentoring for beekeepers that want to learn how to do it, but don't necessarily know where to go to or want to find somebody who looks like them to show them how to do it. I'm open to it. In the future, I I would love to have my own, farm, my own bee farm that could be a place where the community comes together and really is a place that fosters community around bees. I would love to offer Mellow Mel, which is a wine beverage made with honey and fruit, and it's very delightful. And this is how you connect with me because bees love honey, and so do you. Thank you.
Awesome job and right on time. That's great. Um, So, as 1 Million Cups chapter, what can we as a community do for you? And then if you would like to give any feedback, just raise your hand. I'll bring the mic over to you.
Oh, answer the question.
Yeah, what can
Oh,
we do?
sorry.
What can we do for you? What's your big
Okay.
ask of us as a community? As your community?
Well, you know, I've never been in like a position where like what can what can someone else do for me, because I always think of myself as like the beekeeper always doing something for other people. So I'm currently in a partnership. I would say I signed a lease that I don't pay any money, I just pay in honey, which I feel like is kind of great. But I'm in a partnership like that with Atlanta Harvest Farm in Ellenwood. And so I would love to be home. So I decided that Fayetteville was going to be my home. A few months ago, I moved to be closer to my job. And so I was like, oh, you know, I wish I didn't have to drive 30 minutes just to see my bees, although it's a great drive, but I want to be able to do it here. So I'm open to anyone who has land that's not used. I know real estate here is expensive. So if anyone has like a home, any like property, a big yard that they, you know, don't mind having bees, I would just ask that you don't have a pool in the backyard. It could cause some problems in the summertime. They like to swim too. But other than that, just anyone who's open to having bees on their property, wants to buy honey, I'm open.
So, how many bees do you have?
Counting right now, I have 120,000 bees
Oh,
because each colony is healthily 60,000. So right now I just have 120,000, and I downsized because it's winter is coming. So yes.
how much honey does a colony of bees produce per year? I guess it would be.
That's a good question. So it really varies, and a lot of the variables are upon the weather, if it rains enough to produce the nectar that they need. So I would say a good colony can produce, I would say, like 5 gallons every year.
Per colony?
Yeah, per
That's
colony.
awesome. And have you? I believe I mentioned Kay Mance to you before. She owns the farm in Fayetteville. Did you ever connect with her?
We did. We're supposed to have a meeting soon.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, it'd be good to connect.
Hello. Hi. So I actually own 43 acres in Fayetteville.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like right down the street. But I have like this perfect little bungalow that would be so nice for bees. If you want to talk about it, I would love to talk about it and connect about it. But yeah, it's right down the street. If you live in Fayetteville, I think that would be so cool. You could pay me in honey. Okay.
You can. Do you make bee pollen? Do you? Now, I've always wanted to dabble in it, but yes, I can do it as long as I buy the equipment to do it. I can do it.
Oh yeah, because if I tell my husband that, he gonna be like, "Bring her today. She can put the bees over here." Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
So I've actually been so curious about using bee venom
Mhm.
in my business. I'm a little nervous because I know people are allergic,
Mhm.
but it produces an amazing amount of collagen. I've done like extensive research on this, and I'm always looking for natural ways to do that.
Mhm.
I do sell like vials, or have you dabbled in that at all?
So I was actually talking to my husband about this. He's a physician. He's board certified. So I was like, I need to know, like, can I do this, like, and not go to jail?
So
If like someone has a
holistic.
reaction.
Yeah.
I would love to definitely do something like that because I know, especially for my arthritis, like it made it so hard to even just do beekeeping. But then I think bees know. So they just, were like, I'll take one for the team and just unfortunately unalive themselves on both of my kneecaps. But it made it better.
Yeah.
And, now I can, stoop low to the ground and like not die. It's really awesome, but I would absolutely love to get into that because that could be like a huge
I think
specialty
it's
item.
huge. I do radio frequency facials, and so adding that, I'm always looking for something natural. Like I use caviar, different things. I've always wanted to use bee venom, and I just don't know how to implement it because I'm so nervous about someone's reaction. But maybe we could try to work on it because it is
Mhm.
different. It's amazing
Yeah.
and it's natural. Like it's yeah. So I'm excited. I hope we can try to figure something out.
Hmm.
I had a quick question.
Yeah.
I had a interesting honey experience just like 2 days ago.
Tell me more.
I cut myself
Wait, how?
pretty deeply. I do handiwork, and I
Oh.
was installing an attic ladder, and it's a whole thing. But anyways, so a friend of mine put this patch on here, told me it was medical grade honey, which I've never heard of in my life. She said it's antifungal and antibacterial and creates a sterile environment for the wound.
Uh-huh.
I was like, yeah, right.
How does it look
It
under there?
worked. Like I don't have one on right now, but she was like, I forgot to send you with extras, but I'd never seen anything like that before. And then apparently CVS does sell it. Like it's some word that starts with an N, but it's a M, but it starts some type of medical grade honey. Manuka. Yeah, that's it. I don't know. That seems like anything medical grade would be like so much more like revenue than something that was just food grade, which would, but I'm sure it would require like a lot of it, I guess. I don't know. I just didn't know if you knew anything of, you went to beekeeping school. You obviously know more about honey. Is there like, is that kind of pseudoscience or is there like any?
No, so it's real. So Manuka honey is produced only in New Zealand. And so if I were to do this, I need to, I do have a passport, but I would need to get on a plane, get all my equipment on said plane, get there, set it up, like meet somebody nice there. Let me set it up there. But I will say there are a lot of varieties of honey that can do the same thing. So I know specifically in Georgia and in the North Carolina mountains, we have sourwood honey, which this is my personal opinion. I think it is the Manuka of America.
Okay.
I that's just my opinion, and I think the taste is like a lot better than Manuka honey because also too sourwood is it's something here. When you get honey, especially at the grocery stores, I just want to let you all know, do not do that ever again because they are adding corn syrup to it. You will probably get at best 1 tablespoon of honey if you're buying like a huge container of it, and they add corn syrup to it because you know it looks nice in there and you can't tell the difference. And then on top of that, they are buying honey from Argentina, Mexico, China. Like these are places all the way over there. You know, you lose the medicinal effects of the actual honey when you buy it, you know, that way. I hope that answers your question. Kind of, not really.
I mean, it was more of like an explorative
Oh,
question
okay.
for like if that was something that you could get in. I don't know, but yes, it did work. So obviously there's something.
Exactly.
What you're doing is so unique. What's your social media presence look like?
So I feel like the numbers are like the numbers. I haven't like fudged them around or anything. I will say on Instagram I only have like 1,500 followers, but I've only been in business for like a little over a year. So I always feel like, you know, that's fine. I post as often as I can, not every day, but you know, I would say like every like 3 days. And I try to keep it fresh with, you know, beekeeping content, food content, you know, regular like beekeeping life things intertwined with it. Um, yeah.
Yeah. Even with this, like social media could be a huge income stream for something like there's not many people doing what you do. You have like the actual bees to set up.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, you could create content that other people can't create, and
That's true.
people would really like to watch that kind of stuff. So I would really go big on social media.
Will do. Will do.
I will say that I'm really excited for you and Kay to get together
Yay.
with her gardening and her social media presence and all the things that I'm sure she can't wait to share with you. It's going to be huge.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought I saw your hand go up. Anybody else have any other comments? Sorry.
Could we buy some today?
Yes, I have some jars of honey to sell today.
Awesome. There we go. Excellent. Great. Well, amazing presentations this morning. I am even more excited about November 28th. Thank you all. feel free to hang out. We got donuts and coffee. Please try to empty those boxes before we leave so I have less to bring home. Really great job from both of our presenters. Thank you guys. I have some notes that I'd love to share with you prior to your pitch competition. And anybody else that has anything they'd like to share? Otherwise, that was a good sound effect there. Oh, I lost my word. Awesome. Thank you guys. Oh, no. All right. Go pop up. Found it?